Dear seekers of truth, welcome to another episode of Biblical Conspiracies. I am Dr. Alejandro Vega, and today we will delve into a mystery that has remained hidden for millennia, concealed in plain sight within the pages of the Bible. Imagine for a moment that one of the most sensual and passionate texts of the scriptures is actually not about earthly love at all. What if I told you that the Song of Songs, that erotic poem that has baffled theologians for centuries, is actually a coded manual of esoteric and cosmic knowledge? What if behind its floral metaphors and passionate declarations lie secrets about spiritual alchemy, initiation rituals, and communication with higher entities? Prepare to question everything you thought you knew about this enigmatic biblical book. On today's journey, we will uncover hidden codes that might reveal an ancient wisdom so powerful that it had to be concealed in an apparently innocent love poem. The truth, my dear friends, is often hidden in the most unsuspected places. And today, together, we will venture into the depths of a biblical mystery that could change our understanding of spirituality forever. Are you ready to discover the true meaning of the Song of Songs? The Song of Songs, also known as the Song of Solomon, has been a subject of fascination and debate for centuries. Traditionally attributed to King Solomon, this brief yet intense poem stands out in the Bible for its passionate language and vivid sensual descriptions. At first glance, the text seems to be simply a celebration of romantic and physical love between a man and a woman. Verses like, "Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine," have led many to consider it an ode to human love, perhaps even out of place within a sacred text. However, my dear truth seekers, the story of the Song of Songs is far more complex and mysterious than it appears. Throughout the centuries, this text has been interpreted in various ways. Some rabbis and church fathers viewed it as an allegory of the love between God and his people. Others saw it as a mystical representation of the soul's union with the divine. But today, we will venture beyond these conventional interpretations. We will dive into the depths of a theory that could revolutionize our understanding not only of this text, but of the hidden wisdom within the scriptures. What if the Song of Songs is actually an encoded text, a manual of esoteric knowledge passed down through the ages under the guise of a love poem? This theory, though controversial, is not as far-fetched as it may seem at first glance. In the ancient Near East, it was common to conceal mystical teachings and secret knowledge in seemingly innocuous texts. Egyptian priests, Babylonian sages, and even early Gnostic sects all used symbols and allegories to convey their deepest doctrines. King Solomon, to whom this text is attributed, was renowned for his legendary wisdom. Tradition claims that he possessed knowledge beyond the mundane, including mastery of the occult arts and communication with higher entities. Could he have encoded some of this wisdom in the Song of Songs? As we proceed with our analysis, we will examine how the metaphors and symbols of the song might be interpreted from an esoteric perspective. We will explore how descriptions of gardens, fruits, and aromas could be related to alchemical practices and altered states of consciousness. We will investigate the possibility that the interactions between the lovers actually describe initiation rituals and techniques for spiritual elevation. But, my dear friends, I must warn you that what we are about to discover could profoundly challenge your beliefs and understanding of sacred texts. Prepare for a journey that will take us to the limits of the known and make us question the true nature of spirituality and divine knowledge. Are you ready to delve into the hidden mysteries of the Song of Songs? Now, my dear truth seekers, let us plunge into the depths of this fascinating biblical enigma. Far from being a mere love poem, the Song of Songs could be a complex network of symbols and codes that conceal esoteric knowledge of great power. Let's begin with one of the most well-known passages. "I am the rose of Sharon and the lily of the valleys." At first glance, it appears to be a beautiful metaphor about the beauty of the beloved. However, in alchemical tradition, the rose and the lily are powerful symbols. The rose represents spiritual perfection, while the lily symbolizes purity and transformation. Could this verse actually be describing an elevated state of consciousness, the result of an advanced spiritual practice? Now consider this intriguing phrase. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand embraces me. Mystics from various traditions have spoken of energies flowing through the left and right sides of the body. Could this verse be describing a meditation technique to balance these energies and reach a state of enlightenment? But there is more, much more. The song is filled with references to enclosed gardens, sealed fountains, and exotic fruits. In esoteric tradition, these symbols often represent altered states of consciousness and hidden knowledge. For example, when the text says, "A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed," it might be referring to the subconscious mind, a reservoir of hidden wisdom that can only be accessed through advanced spiritual techniques. The descriptions of fragrances and spices in the song are particularly fascinating. Spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all trees of incense, myrrh and aloes, with all the chief spices. In many mystical traditions, aromas are used to induce altered states of consciousness. Could this passage be describing a secret formula for sacred incense used in initiation rituals? Now let me share with you an even more astonishing revelation. The song contains numerous references to the vineyard and wine. On the surface, they seem to be metaphors for love and passion. However, in alchemical tradition, wine often symbolizes the elixir of life, the mystical substance that grants spiritual immortality. When the text says, "Take me to the banqueting house," could it be referring to a ritual for accessing transcendental knowledge? But there is more. The song is full of numbers and patterns that might have hidden meanings. For example, the phrase 60 valiant men is repeated. The number 60 is significant in ancient numerology, related to cosmic cycles and divine perfection. Could this be indicating a numeric code that, when deciphered, reveals cosmic truths? Consider now the very structure of the song. It is composed of a series of dialogues and monologues alternating between male and female voices. In esoteric tradition, the masculine and feminine often represent cosmic forces that are opposite yet complementary. Could the structure of the song be encoding a process of balancing and unifying these energies within the initiate? My dear friends, these revelations barely scratch the surface of the mysteries hidden in the Song of Songs. As we delve deeper, we encounter layers upon layers of hidden meaning. Each verse, each phrase, seems to contain keys to unlocking ancient and powerful knowledge. But the question arises, why hide this knowledge in a love poem? The answer might lie in the very nature of esoteric knowledge. Throughout history, the deepest mystical teachings have been kept secret, transmitted only to those deemed worthy and prepared. By concealing these truths in an apparently innocuous text, the authors of the song might have been ensuring that this knowledge would survive through the centuries, protected from those who might misinterpret or misuse it. Moreover, the use of love as a metaphor for spiritual pursuit is not exclusive to the Song of Songs. Many mystical traditions, from Sufism to Bhakti Yoga, use the language of romantic love to describe the union of the soul with the divine. This choice might not be accidental. It could be a deliberate way to convey the intensity and passion of the spiritual quest. As we untangle these codes, we are faced with the possibility that the Song of Songs is much more than a biblical text. It could be a key that unlocks dimensions of spiritual understanding beyond our imagination. My dear seekers of truth, we have merely skimmed the surface of the mysteries hidden in the Song of Songs. But as we dig deeper, more questions than answers emerge. How deep does this mystical rabbit hole really go? Imagine for a moment the implications of what we have discovered. If the Song of Songs is truly an encoded text of esoteric wisdom, what other secrets might be hidden in the pages of the Bible? How many other sacred texts, revered by millions, might contain layers of meaning that have remained invisible to uninitiated eyes for millennia? And if this knowledge has been preserved and transmitted through the centuries, who have been its guardians? Are there secret societies that have kept this wisdom alive? passing it down from generation to generation under a cloak of secrecy? But there is an even more intriguing question we must consider. If the Song of Songs indeed contains instructions for initiation rituals and techniques to reach altered states of consciousness, what is the ultimate purpose of these practices? We are faced with the possibility that this ancient text contains keys to unlocking unknown human capabilities, or even to establishing contact with higher entities. The rabbit hole deepens, my friends, and the answers we seek could change our understanding of reality itself. Prepare yourselves, because in the second part of our journey, we will delve even deeper into the enigmas of the Song of Songs, and what we discover might challenge the very foundations of our perception of the spiritual world. Before continuing with our revelations, I want to thank you for accompanying me on this fascinating journey of discovery. You, my dear truth seekers, are the reason we continue to unravel these biblical mysteries. As many of you commented in our last video on the Apocryphal Gospels, the thirst for hidden knowledge is immense. Maria from Buenos Aires wrote, "Dr. Vega, your revelations are opening my eyes to a new dimension of spirituality." And you are right, Maria. We are merely scratching the surface. If you are not yet part of our community of explorers, I invite you to subscribe right now and activate the notification bell. Every week, we dive into new biblical mysteries that challenge our understanding of history and spirituality. And for those who are already part of this journey, I challenge you to share in the comments what other books of the Bible you believe might contain hidden codes. Your perspectives not only enrich our research, but also guide us toward new enigmas to explore. Remember, the truth is out there, hidden in plain sight, and together, we will discover it. Now let us prepare to dive even deeper into the secrets of the Song of Songs. Welcome back, intrepid truth seekers. We now delve into the darker and more fascinating depths of the Song of Songs, where the mysteries become even more enigmatic and the revelations more astounding. Let us consider the following passage. Who is this coming up from the wilderness, like pillars of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all the powders of the merchant? At first glance, it seems like a poetic description, but in esoteric tradition, the wilderness often symbolizes a state of spiritual purification, while the pillar of smoke might represent the ascension of the soul. The aromas mentioned, myrrh and frankincense, are known for their psychoactive properties when burned. Could this verse be describing an ancient technique to induce out-of-body experiences? Now, let us examine this intriguing line. His mouth is most sweet. Yes, he is altogether lovely. On the surface, it seems like a sensual description. However, in many mystical traditions, the sweet mouth refers to the experience of divine nectar, a substance said to be produced in the brain during deep states of meditation. Could this verse be encoding instructions to activate the pineal gland, considered by some to be the third eye? But there is more. The song repeatedly mentions a vineyard in Baal Hamon. Baal was an ancient deity associated with fertility and natural cycles. In spiritual alchemy, the vineyard often symbolizes the human body. Could this reference be concealing techniques for the spiritual transmutation of the physical body? Let us consider now the numerological structure of the text. The song contains exactly 117 verses. In Kabbalah, 117 is the numerical value of the heavenly ladder. Coincidence? Or could the very structure of the poem be a code that, when correctly deciphered, reveals a pathway to higher dimensions of consciousness? But perhaps the most impactful revelation lies in the repeated use of the phrase, "my beloved." In Hebrew, beloved is dodi, which has a numerical value of 24. Interestingly, 24 is also the number of chromosomes in human DNA. Could the song be hiding knowledge about the manipulation of the genetic code for spiritual evolution? Now, let me share something truly astounding. The song repeatedly describes a bed or chamber. In esoteric tradition, the bed often symbolizes an altered state of consciousness. But there's more. The Hebrew word for bed is mita, which has the same numerical value as Merkabah. the mystical chariot described in Ezekiel's visions? Could the song be providing encoded instructions for activating the light body, a concept found in many mystical traditions? But the rabbit hole deepens even further. The song mentions the little foxes that ruin the vineyards. In alchemy, foxes often symbolize agents of transformation. Could this verse be describing a spiritual purification process where the lower aspects of the self are transmuted? Moreover, we cannot ignore the repeated references to the night. In mysticism, the dark night of the soul is a state of profound spiritual transformation. The song says, "By night on my bed, I sought him whom my soul loves." Could this be a veiled reference to nocturnal meditation practices, or even to lucid dreaming techniques to access higher realms of consciousness? My dear friends, as we unravel these layers of hidden meaning, we confront an astounding possibility. The Song of Songs could be much more than a manual of spiritual practices. It could be an encoded map for the evolution of human consciousness, a set of instructions to unlock latent capabilities in our spiritual DNA. But if this knowledge is so powerful, why hide it in an apparently innocuous text? The answer might lie in the very nature of this knowledge. Throughout history, the deepest and most transformative teachings have been kept secret, reserved only for those deemed ready to receive them. Moreover, by concealing these truths in a love poem, the authors of the song might have been using the power of symbolism and metaphor to convey experiences that transcend ordinary language. After all, how does one describe the indescribable? How does one speak of states of consciousness that go beyond normal human experience? And here we face an unsettling question. If the Song of Songs truly contains this transformative knowledge, who have been its guardians through the centuries? Are there secret lineages of initiates who have kept this wisdom alive, passing it from master to disciple under the veil of secrecy? My dear truth seekers, as we delve deeper into these mysteries, we find ourselves on the edge of an abyss of possibilities. The Song of Songs could be much more than a biblical text. It could be a key that opens doors to dimensions of understanding and experience that surpass our current imagination. And if this knowledge exists, what are its implications for our understanding of reality, consciousness, and our place in the cosmos? Are we on the brink of discovering the true potential of humanity? My dear truth seekers, we have reached a point in our journey where we must elevate our perspective and consider the broader implications of what we have discovered. If the Song of Songs is truly an encoded text of esoteric wisdom, as our investigations suggest, then we are confronted with a series of profound and transformative questions about the nature of reality, consciousness, and our place in the universe. First, we must consider the possibility that advanced spiritual knowledge is not something new, but something ancient that we have forgotten. Could it be that our ancestors possessed a deeper understanding of reality than we do today? This idea challenges our notion of linear progress and invites us to reconsider the wisdom of ancient cultures. Moreover, if this esoteric knowledge has been preserved and transmitted through the centuries, hidden in plain sight in sacred texts like the Song of Songs, what does this say about the nature of knowledge itself? Perhaps true wisdom is not something that can be acquired simply through intellectual study, but requires an inner transformation, an initiation that goes beyond words and concepts. Let us also consider the implications for our understanding of human consciousness. If the Song of Songs truly contains techniques for reaching altered states of consciousness and communicating with higher entities, does this mean that our ordinary perception of reality is just the tip of the iceberg? Could we be living in a multiverse of conscious experiences, most of which are beyond our normal perception? This leads us to an even deeper question. What is the ultimate purpose of this esoteric knowledge? If these advanced spiritual practices exist, what is their final goal? Is it simply individual enlightenment, or is there a larger cosmic purpose at play? Some mystics and philosophers have suggested that the universe itself could be a form of consciousness that evolves and expands through the experience of conscious beings like us. From this perspective, our individual spiritual journey could be part of a much larger cosmic process of self-discovery and self-realization. And if this is true, how does it change our understanding of human history and the purpose of civilization? Could it be that the great spiritual and religious traditions of the world, including Judaism and Christianity, are actually vehicles for the preservation and transmission of this esoteric knowledge? Furthermore, how does this affect our vision of the future? If we have the potential to evolve spiritually and access higher levels of consciousness, how might this change our society, our relationship with the planet, and our understanding of our place in the cosmos? My dear friends, these questions take us to the edge of the known, to the limit of our current understanding. They invite us to contemplate the possibility that reality is far more vast, complex, and mysterious than we have ever imagined. And perhaps ultimately, that is the true purpose of texts like the Song of Songs, not just to convey esoteric knowledge, but to awaken within us a sense of wonder and mystery, to inspire us to seek, to question, to explore the boundaries of our consciousness and understanding. Because in the end, perhaps the greatest mystery lies not in ancient texts or esoteric practices, but within ourselves, in the unexplored potential of human consciousness and our capacity to transcend our limitations and expand our perception of reality. Dear seekers of truth, as we approach the end of our journey through the mysteries of the Song of Songs, it is natural to ask, how can we apply these revelations in our own lives? First and foremost, I invite you to reflect on your own relationship with sacred texts. Whether you believe in a literal or symbolic interpretation, have you considered the possibility that there may be deeper layers of meaning waiting to be discovered? Perhaps the next time you read the Bible or any other spiritual text, you might do so with fresh eyes, seeking not only the surface meaning, but also the possible hidden codes and symbols. Moreover, the metaphors of love and union in the Song of Songs remind us of the importance of cultivating an intimate relationship with the divine, however you may conceive it. How might we apply this idea of divine love in our daily lives? Could it transform the way we interact with others and the world around us? The references to aromas, gardens, and nature in the song also invite us to reconnect with the natural world. In our modern society, we often distance ourselves from nature. Could these ancient teachings be reminding us of the importance of this connection for our spiritual well-being? If we consider the possibility that the song contains instructions for advanced spiritual practices, how might this inspire us to deepen our own spiritual practice? Perhaps we could explore meditation techniques, breathing exercises, or contemplative practices that help us expand our consciousness. Let us also remember that esoteric knowledge, if it exists, is not an end in itself, but a means for personal and collective transformation. How might we use any insights or understanding we gain to make the world a better place? Finally, I invite you to cultivate a sense of wonder and mystery in your daily life. In a world that often seems disenchanted, could we find the sacred and the mysterious in the ordinary? Could we see every interaction, every experience as an opportunity for spiritual growth and expansion of consciousness? Remember, my dear friends, that the true journey is not outward, but inward. The deepest mysteries are not found in ancient texts or secret rituals, but in the depths of our own being. May these reflections inspire you to continue your personal quest for truth and knowledge, always with an open heart and an inquisitive mind. Dear seekers of truth, we have reached the end of our fascinating journey through the hidden mysteries of the Song of Songs. But remember, this is not an end, but a new beginning. The revelations we have explored today are just the tip of the iceberg. There are countless biblical mysteries waiting to be uncovered, ancient codes that have yet to be deciphered, and hidden truths that could transform our understanding of the world and ourselves. If this exploration has ignited your curiosity and thirst for knowledge, I invite you to join our community of intrepid researchers. Subscribe to this channel and activate notifications to ensure you don't miss any of our future investigations. Each week, we dive into new biblical enigmas and unravel the hidden secrets in the pages of sacred scriptures. Additionally, I challenge you to share your own ideas and theories in the comments. What other books of the Bible do you believe might contain hidden codes? What connections have you noticed that we might have overlooked? Your unique perspective could be the key to unlocking the next great mystery. Remember, the truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. And together, as a community of dedicated seekers, we can illuminate the darkest corners of history and spirituality. Until our next meeting, keep your minds open, your hearts curious, and your eyes attentive to the mysteries that surround us. The adventure continues, and the best is yet to come.